So the origins of Warsaw, Kentucky, comes from Poland, right? There's a Warsaw, Poland. But why are we just naming a city in our county after another city? Why not come up with our own shit? It used to be Fredericksburg. So why was it so important to change Fredericksburg, right? They changed their name, right? They changed their name from Fredericksburg to Warsaw. And who do y'all go by? Do y'all say this is the fucking Muhammad Ali town, or do you say this is fucking Cassius Clay? Y'all go with Muhammad Ali. You go to fucking Warsaw. You don't say Fredericksburg. And it only took like what, 100 years? So famous people from Warsaw. Richard Yates is from Warsaw. He was the governor of Illinois. He would later go on to serve the Senate, and Yates was an outspoken critic of slavery, and as governor helped promote the Union cause during the American Civil War. So great. Okay, so Gallatin County does provide us somebody better than fucking John Taylor. John Taylor's this fucking plantation owning, fucking 20 slave, owning motherfucking piece of shit. And but we actually have somebody. We got Richard Yates, right? We got Richard Yates, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about Richard Yates. I do want to talk about the Polish revolutionaries. I don't know if I'm gonna get the chance. There's Albert Gallatin. Yeah, here it is. All right, good. Okay. So Warsaw. It also says Carletta Tompkins, who was Lottie Deno, and she's like a big gambler. She was from Warsaw too. She was born to a wealthy plantation owner. It's just gamblers. I don't know. You can check out more about Carlotta Tompkins. I will click on it and look real fast and give up on her. So if you want to check out Lottie Deno, she also came from Warsaw and she was popular. Now, Warsaw. So the story on the Polish fight for independence from Encarta. In 1815, the Congress of Vienna, which drafted the General European Peace Settlement after Napoleon's downfall, created the Kingdom of Poland, also called the Congress Kingdom of Poland, consisting of about 3/4 of the territory of the former Duchy of Warsaw, with the Russian Emperor as king. Okay, so Russia took over fucking Warsaw, Poland. They was their fucking king. They was part of Russia. Established Krakow as a city republic and distributed the remainder of Poland between Russia, Austria, and Prussia. So, Russia, Austria, Prussia, they were all fucking taking a little bit of fucking chunk of Poland, right? We get Poland, they get Poland, everybody gets Poland. World War II, first you got Hitler going in the Czech Republic, the Bohemian forest, and saying, this is mine. And then Neville Chamberlain saying, hey, I signed an agreement, he ain't going to attack no more people. And then he invades Poland, right? So Poland's been fucking, these empires have been trying to rip Poland to pieces for quite some time. Same shit was happening in 1815. So 1815, there's one piece of land, one piece of ground. They called it Warsaw, but the rest of Poland was distributed between Russia, Austria, and Prussia. And Prussia is, of course, it's Germany. So Alexander I, Emperor of Russia, granted the new kingdom a liberal constitution in 1815. So wonderful, right? The Alexander I gives them a fucking liberal constitution, right? So I guess there's democracy, and they got Bill of Rights and all these freedoms and shit. I doubt it. They're fucking king, it's a monarch, so there's oppression and tyranny right around the corner. So they said that there is a liberal constitution, but the Polish nationalists soon initiated a powerful movement for independence. So it couldn't have been that liberal, it could have been that welcoming, because the Polish nationalists said, fuck this is Poland, this is our fucking country. Austria and Prussia and Russia want to come up here and carve us up like we just fucking cake. They're going to just chop us up like we fucking chocolate cake. That's some bullshit. Okay? And so Polish nationalists, they start to rebel. They start to say this is fucking bullshit. We're going to do something about it. And on November 29th, 1830, okay? November 29th, 1830, this movement culminated in the outbreak of armed insurrection. This movement culminated in the outbreak of armed insurrection. So, because all these big-ass empires want to take a chunk of Poland, these Polish nationalists stand up, and eventually they're saying, hey, we're going to start an armed insurrection, and we're going to take our fucking country back. So the Poles expelled the imperial authorities, and in January 1831 proclaimed their independence. So they won. The fucking Polish revolutionaries kicked the fucking imperialist bastards out, and now it's Poland. We're fucking Poland. And in January 1831, they proclaimed their independence. In the ensuing year, the Poles kept the Russians at bay for several months. However, the Russians won an important victory in Ostrava in May 1831 and took Warsaw in September. So Poland only got to exist for less than a year. Since we're in pre-telegraph days, there was an issue in my mind about the ability for news in Poland to reach Warsaw, Kentucky in a timely manner. But I find that the Cincinnati Enquirer in the late October, early November 1831 issues are chock full of Polish revolutionary stories. September 17th of that year, before Poland fell, there were 3.5 columns on a 5-column wide front page of the Cincinnati Enquirer about the revolution. So Warsaw folks, Fredericksburg folks would have been known all about the Polish Revolution, which would have been the contemporary international happening, and would have known that the folks of Warsaw, Poland, were suffering terrible consequences, trying to bravely, heroically resist the imperialist Austrians, Russians, and Prussians. Want a smoking gun? The Warsaw Independent on May 15, 1880 has this to say: the town of Warsaw was once known as the town of Fredericksburg. At what time it was incorporated, if it ever was, the records don't show. The county of Washington having at the same town a town by the same name, and letters and goods being frequently miscarried because of two towns in the same state, it was changed December 12, 1831 to the name of Warsaw. And this name, given in honor of the great struggle for Polish independence, begun in the city of that name in Russian Poland. So they found an article. There is an article out of a newspaper that makes this direct connection. So again, it was the paper was called the Warsaw Independent. It was May 15th, 1880, and they said that the county of Washington, at the time, a town by the same name, letters and goods being frequently miscarried because the two towns in the same state, it was changed, right? I don't know why. Fredericksburg, I guess there's another Fredericksburg somewhere. So they want to change it because they miscarried, letters and goods between the two things, and they always got the shit confused. So they changed it. December 12th, 1831. December 12th, 1831 is when Warsaw changed its name from Fredericksburg to Warsaw. This is a name given in honor of the great struggle for Polish independence begun in a city of that name in Russian Poland on the night of November 29th and 30th, 1830. So the Independent says that Confusion was a town of identical name, and while it was obviously close enough to be confusing, note they weren't exact. So that's it. That's it. Warsaw was named after Polish revolutionaries. So what does all this mean? Why did I mention any of this shit? I'll tell you. The reason why I mention this is because the people who named Warsaw were cultured people. They're paying attention to Russia or Polish revolutionaries. You probably, I don't want to say that. There's 8,600 people, and I don't know all Gallatin County is. I know a lot of the leaders. I know the people, the class I grew up with, class of 2000, and some above and some below classes, but not much more than that. So I can't speak for all Gallatin County. But with 97%, being white, with all the Confederate flags, with all the insanity and craziness and the oppression and the fucking bullshit that I personally have witnessed and had to go through, nobody gives a shit. And the cultures that I kind of see that are the main fucking the culture setters, they are not cultured. I don't know if they understand what the definition of culture even is. So I just wonder how the fuck did, Gallatin County, which was named after a Swiss diplomat, Secretary of Treasury, right? This motherfucker's the Secretary of Treasury, right? He's basically setting financial, fiscal policy for early America. So he helped establish the fiscal policy of our country. So how did we go from, we got Ghent, right? Ghent, Kentucky, which is, it was named after the Treaty of Ghent, which is Belgium, Netherlands. So you have a Dutch influence, right? To end the War of 1812, they're fucking signing treaties over in England. They're sending fucking people over there to sign some fucking treaties and shit. So we got a Dutch influence with Ghent, with Sparta. That's a Greek influence with Glencoe. That's a Scottish influence. The Glencoe is named after the Scottish Highlands, where there's volcanoes, and then there's plush greens all around. Some of the most beautiful scenery in Scotland, and maybe that's why they looked at Gallatin County and said, oh, look at the beautiful scenery. This is Glencoe, just like Scotland. So we got Scottish influence, Greek influence, Dutch influence. Warsaw is named after the Polish revolutionaries. So we got Polish influence. Napoleon, that's French influence. And then Gallatin County himself, or Albert Gallatin himself, so Swiss. So we got Swiss influence, French influence, Scottish influence, Greek influence, Dutch influence, Polish influence. But if you was asked average, typical Gallatin County about any of this shit, they wouldn't know anything, because there are backwards, toothless, meth-addled, trailer park, fucking redneck, white supremacist, piece of shit, uncultured piece of shit. They're happy about their ignorance. They don't know shit, and they're happy about that. That's the culture. So how do we go from having all these cultural influences, you know, all these Greece, that's where fucking democracy comes from, Scottish, oh, it's not Scottish, right? The fucking French, man, they've got so much fucking culture. Dutch, Poland, my God, we have so many sources that we can draw some sort of inspiration for culture. There's Italianate and Gothic fucking architecture is being built, but we don't give a shit about culture. We just say, hey, fuck, you know, white supremacists is like, fuck the blacks, who gives a shit? That's the fucking culture. Let's beat up our children. That's the culture. Let's oppress and beat up the children, right? Let's just keep slavery around forever. Let's say the N-word. That's the fucking culture. That's no culture. That's anti-culture. That's the love of death. And you're not building, you're just taking. You know, capitalism, that's what it says. If you just fucking take, and then eventually it all works out for everybody. But it doesn't work out for everybody. That's why there's an economic coordination failure. That's why everybody has to get jobs outside the county. And that's why they're going to have fiscal, problems. They're not getting enough tax revenue into the city to actually do what they want to do. So let's get to our roots, let's start looking to our roots. Warsaw was named after our Polish revolutionaries. They were against imperialists. These are good things, they was for independence. They stood up for themselves and they created a country. They had lost that year, but they was able to set that spark where it came from, something had happened. 1830, that's also the Second French Revolution. The statue of King Louis here downtown almost got destroyed because of the Second French Revolution. So 1830, the French are revolting, the fucking Polish are revolting, you're having, and then 1848, you got revolutions just spreading out all across Europe, and that was when Karl Marx writes his Communist Manifesto. So you have the 1848 revolutions in 50 different countries, which is about 18 years later. I bet Poland was part of that too. France is part of that, So again, Gallatin County is named after Albert Gallatin, which is a Swiss man, so there's Swiss influence there. Napoleon was a French imperialist conqueror, and there's the town of Napoleon. There's the town of Glencoe, and it's named after the Scottish Highlands. Beautiful scenery, beautiful Scottish Highlands scenery. It's volcanoes, and it's also, there was the massacre of Glencoe too. So not only does it describe an area of Scotland, but it also describes a horrible fucking thing that had happened, again, by imperialist bastards. William and Mary. There's a William and Mary College, I think was like one of the first fucking colleges established here. Fuck William and Mary. Fuck the tyrannical fucking monarchy. We don't like monarchs here, king and queen. Fuck that bullshit, okay? We're for democracy, and we elect our fucking presidents. You don't just say, I'm the fucking dictator, and my son's going to dictate over all you all, and there ain't shit y'all can do about it. That ain't how shit runs here. So that's Scottish. So we got revolutionaries. More revolutionaries. They, the massacre of Glencoe, they all fucking died there, but eventually that incident was used to, for the Jacobites to fight against the imperialist fucking tyrants. And the Polish revolutionaries were fighting in Warsaw. So, we're named after the revolutionaries in Glencoe, or in Scotland. We're named after the revolutionaries in Poland. Sparta is Greek influence, and we get democracy from Greece. Now, Sparta wasn't, democratic, but they were strong, right? Strong warriors. So Sparta, we get strong warriors. And Gent, that's the Dutch, that's the Netherlands, so that's the, Amsterdam, so, a bunch of potheads and shit. And then you have Warsaw, Napoleon, France. Okay, so we have, just to go down the line again, we got Swiss influence. Albert Gallatin is Swiss, Napoleon is French, Glencoe is Scottish, Sparta is Greek, Gent is Dutch, and Warsaw is Polish. We have a whole huge-ass base of being more cultured than what we are. No, we're not just about... Nobody's fucking white in Gallatin County, so get that shit out of your head. They say 97% of the demographic is white. What, you think this looks white? Does this look white to you? I mean, I got light on the skin and shit, right? But this looks white, right? Does that look white to you? Let me, let's get a piece of paper. Let's see. This is white, right? This is white. Is that the same fucking color? Is that the same color as my face? Y'all ain't fucking white. None of y'all are. Stop being white. Start getting cultured, motherfuckers. White means no culture.